Good morning. This is Mortal Dilemmas, reporting to you at about 2 a.m. on Christmas Day. And Merry Christmas to all of you out there, or Happy Holidays, depending on what you like to celebrate. I've been dreaming about work a lot lately. The other night, I had a dream I had a parcel that wouldn't scan. And when I woke up, I wondered where my pillow was. It turns out I stacked it against my wall. So that's where my mind's been at lately. So today we will hear a collection of paranormal work experiences collected by one individual over a period of 20 years. Also, I'd like to apologize for being slightly congested, but I'll do my best in these narrations today. Enjoy, and have a safe and happy holiday. I began this job as a contracted employee working in human resources. My first experience was being sent to our warehouse, several buildings away. Off I trek, and I get lost, of course. I am walking down this hallway, and mind you, it's got windows to the side, so it's bright and sunny. But I feel this uneasy feeling, as if I'm not alone. I shake it off as just being new and uneasy. This is a scientific laboratory company, and one cannot go from the labs back into refrigerators, cold rooms, or walk-in freezers due to our protocols. It was late in the day, and none of the scientists were clean, so they asked me to go into the walk-in freezer to get a kit for them. I had never been in this refrigerator. It was pretty large. I didn't notice if it had a back door. I know now that there is one way in and out, one door. As I am reaching up to this top shelf, I feel this tap on my left shoulder. I turn around, expecting to see this guy Larry, who is a real funny guy and might pull a prank like that, sneaking up on someone. I turn around and no one is there. Oh, I think. They must have gone out the back door. I learn that there is no back door. What the heck? Well, I work with these really rational scientists, and I'm pretty logical in my workday life, but I do believe in otherworldly phenomenon, so I was a bit shook. I kept it to myself, trusting one scientist who then told others. I hate gossip, but this proved rather interesting, as I then became the collector of all the other tales from this place. My list is 20 years in the making. Some folks teased me as the Casper Keeper and Ghost Whisperer, but then they would read the stories and get rather silent. After the tap on the shoulder incident, I was curious if other incidents had happened, so I talked with our security guard quietly one afternoon. I asked her if she had anything happen. Wow, Pandora's box. She told me of walking her night rounds when no one was on campus and hearing voices. Of course, it's her job to locate where these were coming from. She would track these down to small labs and rooms. She had the master keys, so she would open the rooms and find them empty and the voices would stop. She would hear moaning, same scenario, no one there. She would hear doors slam, no one. She shared that some guards won't work at night due to this kind of thing. A patented PhD scientist leader was working after hours one night. All offices have a side window the height of the door, and these have Venetian blinds. She shared with me, as I became known as keeping these stories, that she had gone to the restroom, came back, and those blinds were raised to the very top. She left for the evening after that. One scientist was working on an experiment, had her samples all neatly set out, ready to process in a machine. She again was there after hours, no one around. She took a break to use the restroom, get a snack, and then when she returned, the vials were missing fluid. She thought someone was on campus and messing with her work, but years later, hearing about other incidents, she came to the conclusion that this may not have been a person. I dated every incident after these took place, even noted time of day. Scientists affected me, and why not use the same scientific method and observation techniques, right? July 1st, 1999, morning. Male scientist working in a large lab with large mechanical instruments, each weighing about 200 pounds. Was working in a separate area of same lab, turned around, and one of those instruments had moved about 15 feet. Carts did not have wheels. He heard nothing behind him. He was still shaking when he told me this hours later. July 7th, 1999. I was in the office area moving a nice monitor stand from a recently vacated cube into my own, rearranging my desk. I was then and am still losing my hearing. Right in my ear, loud, I hear a growl. I look around and realize all the scientific staff are in the labs. I am an office worker, not a scientist, just to note. I tried to dismiss this as my imagination when I heard it again. August 1st, 1999. A fellow office worker told me about being in the women's restroom in the handicap stall. She hears the door to the restroom open, hears the clacking of high heels, hears a stall door close. When she finished up and was walking to the sinks, she asked to pass all the other stalls, and they were all empty. This same incident happened again to someone else years later. September 10th, 2000. I have a chat with our IT staff who are all over campus and ask them if they've ever had anything happen. The reply I got was, "Oh boy, have we. We are very aware that there is something here." September 12th, 2000. A former scientist turned trainer is working in another building. She comes over to tell me how when she is working late, the lights in her building won't respond to controls, and they turn off and on by themselves. She talked to facilities who have an outside contractor come in. They cannot explain this. Scientists do make quite credible witnesses, so here are more stories of the paranormal at a Northern California scientific workplace. This happened early one morning in 1998. CB was a group leader, really level-headed scientist. She got in at 6 a.m. and was in this lab that adjoined to another smaller lab. While setting up an instrument, she heard a female voice call her by her name from that other room. She replied, "Yes, what?" to no further response. Then again, the voice called her by name, so she put aside her experiment for a moment to go see who was calling her. She got into this smaller lab, and it was empty, no one there. May 17th, 2001. Another very level-headed scientist, another female, was working in a lab with a male coworker. She whips her head around to look behind her. Male coworker asks, "What's wrong?" She states, "I could have sworn someone was right behind me." No one was. October 29th, 2001. A female scientist, NL, is standing at the copy machine when she feels a cold spot. She calls me over to where she is standing. I too feel this cold spot. Then it turns into a breeze. This breeze is coming from under the doorway to an electrical room. This was so dramatic that the long skirt worn by NL swirled and was lifted up almost like the famous Marilyn Monroe scene over the sidewalk grate, but not quite that forceful. Then it stopped. I later asked an electrician who next used that room, why would this happen? I asked if there was outside access, a window, roof access. He shows me the room, and no, inexplicable. November 15th, 2001. Lunch hour. BD, a male lab instrument repairman, was walking down the hall from his desk to the restroom. He sees a shadow person walking through the wall of the restroom. This person had so many experiences over the course of years. December 11th, 2001. Outside contractors doing repair work in a lab anteroom. This is an air-pressurized room where one gowns up, puts on booties, etc. This room has shelving for gowns, booties, etc. And it has a sink that is motion-activated. While the team was busy on one side of the room, the motion-activated sink came on by itself. This same occurrence happened repeatedly in different labs at different times. December 11th, 2001. TP, a female scientist, heard this story being relayed to me, and it reminded her of something else. She was standing next to the copy machine in her area when she watched the on-off switch flip to off by itself. December 20th, 2001. When a repairman was working on the same copy machine, she asked him about this. He looked at her so puzzled and said no, this should not happen. She had been a huge skeptic prior to this. November 21st, 2002. DP, another office worker like myself, stepped away from her desk to use the copier. When she returned, her desk chair was rapidly spinning. She tried to recreate this by forcing it to spin, but within seconds it would come to a stop. April 3rd, 2003. I was standing in the hallway of Building 3 on campus. I headed a team who rented artwork, and we were having the gallery hang a favorite piece. As I guided the work staff where to hang this particular piece, I heard a female voice whisper, "Hello." The only other female nearby was LB, as she was also assisting. I asked her if she had said something. No, she hadn't. There was no one anywhere near us. June 30th, 2003. Walking in the same building on a routine errand, I felt that pronounced feeling like I was not alone. I didn't want to glance down this long hallway, as I knew there was something there. Sure enough, in front of that same painting was a shadow person. August 8th, 2003. NL, working at her desk, saw someone walking by outside her window where there was only open fields. She saw this out of her peripheral view, but when focused and looking, no one was there. December 9th, 2003. ER, a PhD, and very accurate, very observant, the most matter-of-fact scientist I ever met, walked into a lab and asked BF to direct a junior scientist, TN, to do something for her. BF said, "TN isn't in the lab." She had just seen someone who resembled TN walking in the lab through the hallway window. No one was there. January 26th, 2004. BD in the office at 6:30 a.m. All is quiet. He hears another computer going through the Microsoft startup procedure. He left his desk and checked every cubicle. None of them were on. January 4th, 2005. NL at the office at 6:30 a.m. sees a shadow person run from the kitchen area straight through a cubicle wall, through a window, and outside the building. February 24th, 2005. Now this one is eerily similar to that above on April 3rd, 2003. NL was in the same building, number 3, on an errand, walking in the same hallway, when she heard a female voice say, "Hello, NL." Of course, no one was anywhere near her. I hadn't told her about my incident. March 29th, 2005. I am one of those people who, after the shared refrigerator starts growing science experiments, rolls up my sleeves and cleans it. I was bent over cleaning the refrigerator with soap and sponge, etc. To my right is a wall of mail slots. Very quickly, I see a small shadowy figure run past me, through a cubicle wall, out the wall with windows, repeating what NL saw on January 4th, 2005. Now this gets really interesting, as that same day a colleague from my same building, but the floor above me, saw the exact same thing, but this being he saw much more clearly. RR said he saw a short female run past him right through a wall. May 12th, 2005. I am walking the hallway from my cubicle to the restroom, and I hear a male voice right in my ear say, "Hey, Schexnab." How did these entities know my name? May 20th, 2005. Anna working in the lab, focused, pipetting quantities of liquid, looking down. She sees two black boots, black pant legs with a white lab coat standing right near her out of her peripheral vision. Also saw this person's arm. After finishing, she looked up, but no one was there. We joked that at least they were wearing a lab coat. May 20th, 2005. We have a small locker room with an adjacent door that joins our restroom. While washing my hands, I hear that doorknob rattle as if someone were trying to open it. I hear the lockers open and shut. Thought I'd check, but no one was in the locker room. October 3rd, 2005. NL, during a discussion with a colleague, GT. A heavy lab notebook somehow dislodged itself from between two others and flew across the cubicle, alarming them both. June 1st, 2006. TP walking to restroom, saw a shadow walk into the nook, heard door open and close, walked in, and no one else was in the room. May 28th, 2007. PL working on a holiday weekend, so pretty much alone on campus. She occupies a stall in the restroom when she hears the outer door open, sees a set of nice sneakers and jean-covered legs walk by. This is a small restroom with 3 stalls. She assumed that this person took the last stall. When she departs stall and washes hands, she sees that all the stalls are vacant. No one had passed her or left. June 5th, 2007. LB and DR sit in building number 3. One afternoon, both were busy in their cubicles, which are side by side. Both saw a shadow person walk past first DR's, then LB's cubicle, and continue walking through a windowed wall. August 30th, 2007. JS at work late in the evening, no one else around. She stopped working as she heard children running past her cubicle entrance and laughing. Got up and looked around. No one else was there. September 3rd, 2003. NA working alone in her office area when she heard someone else typing on a keyboard. Verified with security guard that she was alone on campus. Yes, no one else was there. Back to work, and she hears items being moved around in the kitchen area. No one was there. She was so freaked out she will never work after hours. September 25th, 2007. NL is in a very special lab with many safety protocols. She was working quietly when she felt a tug on the back of her lab coat. She looked around, verified no one else was in this lab with her, felt it twice more. November 29th, 2007. I was walking by a lab and saw a sheet of paper on a high shelf move in a very peculiar way. Not as if moving from a gust of wind, but being lifted as if some unseen hands did so. Date unknown, but before 2008. We had a young person in our finance department B who passed away overnight one night. The next day, his supervisor MD got a phone call that was all static. She wondered if he might have been trying to call in. Another coworker, YM, felt a presence behind her. Janitorial staff had so many incidents that they refused to work in that area after dark. January 21st, 2008. New employee EH having a conversation with someone when he felt someone whoosh past him. The person he was with told him to talk to me. March 20th, 2008. NL in a lab and hears female laughter. No one in the lab with her. April 7th, 2008. NL in office area and again sees a short shadow person run into a cubicle. Went to peek into that cubicle, but the resident was busy typing away, and this person is 5'7". April 10th, 2008. WJ and GM walking past the restrooms see the door open all the way, but no one was there. Door shuts again. April 17th, 2008. GM working in a large lab alone, working on a machine when the deionized water tap comes on by itself, then turns off. These are motion activated, and he was way across the room. March 1st, 2009. S, new security guard, sent to see me by DR. He was doing his rounds the night before when he heard footsteps at a different cadence than his own, walking right behind him. No one was there. May 8th, 2009. I am alone in an office area, while scientists are in labs. I hear a scream 3 cubicles over, a female voice. I rush over there. No one was there. I peek into all the cubicles in the office area. No one is in the office area at all. July 12th, 2009. S, the security guard, in building number 3 late at night, after midnight. He heard a door in a large office area squeak shut on its hinges, then slam shut. He turned on all lights, checked every office door, and they were all locked. October 17th, 2001. I am walking near my office area when I hear a distinct voice in my ear. Hey, how's it going? No one anywhere near me in the long corridor. November 24th, 2011. This is one of the strangest in my opinion. JS and an unknown other scientist working over Thanksgiving break in building number 3. Scientists had spent the better part of 2 hours setting up an experiment in one of the labs. Once all these vials are meticulously lined up, he leaves for about 10 minutes to take a short break. Comes back and everything is completely out of order. He huffs into the office area where JS is and accuses her of messing up all of his hard work. It wasn't her. In her own defense, she calls security, who verifies that the 2 of them and the security guard were the only people on campus. Doors are not accessible on weekends and holidays, and the only way in is via the front lobby past the security guard station. September 10th, 2013. NL sees shadow person in ladies' room via the mirror while washing hands. Upon noticing it, it ducked itself into a stall, as if hiding. October 13th, 2014. BD, BA, and TN all walking in building number 3 corridor, and all heard someone call each individual person's names. November 12th, 2014. TP and MW both smell perfume as if someone was right next to them. No one was. December 23rd, 2014. TR working on machines in a lab, alone, heard someone call his name. January 28th, 2015. BD and GM working in a new lab. This lab has a pressurized anteroom, and doors can only open with badge access. Both heard, then saw the anteroom door open with an audible alarm sound indicating a badge had been used. There was no one at the door, and could not have left the anteroom without the main lab door open. As if this wasn't disturbing enough, after they get back to work, it happens a second time. July 7th, 2017. BD in good old building number 3 when he hears someone whisper his name right in his ear. The remainders I have no dates to associate with. I was walking in building 3, open office area, and the female voice whispers, "Hey, where are you going?" I feel like a complete fool as I stop and look around. A colleague who I am not too fond of asks, "Are you okay?" I ask her if she said anything, and she said no. BD, while alone in a lab in building 3, setting up calibrating equipment, saw a man in a white gown, black slacks, and boots out of his peripheral vision. Looked up. No one there. CH walking down enclosed lab hallway, past the -20 walk-in freezer. She saw someone in there, went back to look again. If anyone were there, the motion detector light should be on. Opened the door, no one there. Shadowy figure. That concludes all the incidents. None have come to my attention in 2018, but many of our staff are new, and few know this history. Thanks for your attention.